It's about pausing and giving your brain a chance to actually work through the emotions. Suddenly you're in this new country and it's new routines, it's new expectations, it's unpredictable schedules. God has a plan for your life. So life is happening for you. So what is the truth here? You know, like what is really happening here and what is the story that I'm telling in my mind?
Welcome back to KarooKiwi. Making big changes is one thing, the logistics are another. But the biggest journey of all is that one that happens between your ears. How do you handle stress, the uncertainty, and how do you build a life when your brain is still clinging to the old one? Today, we're getting a practical user manual for our own brains. We're learning how to rewire our thinking for success and happiness, albeit in a new country. We'll be talking about science, resilience, and the power of belief. Our guide for this journey is Antonette Schminke from Clarityworks. She's a Neuro-Life coach, which means she uses the science of how our brains works to help people break through barriers and reach their full potential. Antonette, a massive welcome from us. It's wonderful to have you here. So, where do you find yourself today?
Thank you, Aubrey. It's a privilege to be here. Where do I find myself today?
Yeah. It can be physical or mentally.
I just wanted to say, I'm in Cape Town in South Africa.
Yeah.
Mentally, very good space. Life is good. Life is full of potential. And hopefully we can share some inspiration today.
Great. Sounds great. So just the icebreaker, some quick questions, quick answers, before we dive deep into the brain's wiring. So which one do you trust first, logic or intuition?
Intuition.
You want to elaborate, or is that just it?
Intuition. I think in the nature of my work, I can establish quickly. So I don't need the logical side. Just the intuition of okay, this is what I'm seeing.
Yeah, that gut feeling. Eh?
Yeah.
Okay, so what gives you more energy? Is it a complex puzzle or the open road?
The open road, definitely. Nature.
Nothing like a road trip or something, right?
Yeah, discovering new things, new places.
Exactly. So the next one is, which one do you press most often? Is it your brain's snooze button or your go button?
Which one? The go button. Yeah, I don't like to
So we go getter.
Yeah, no, there's lots to do.
Exactly. Yeah. Last one we have for you: a quiet night at home or an adventure in nature to clear your head?
Both. Can I say both?
You can. I think it's
Yeah, it's either or. But I like my home. I like being at home. So that is also nice. So I like my quiet time, but then also discovering new places also great.
Brilliant. New Zealand doesn't have to be complicated. Simply Visa NZ helps employers and migrants navigate the visa process, from work and residence visas to visitors visas. Led by immigration lawyer Rain Visser, the team provides clear, honest advice, so clients always know what's needed and what comes next. Their goal is to make every move simple, stress-free and successful, because starting a new life in New Zealand should feel exciting and not overwhelming. Visit simplyvisa.co.nz, complete the online application form, and let Simply Visa NZ help you make your migration dream a reality. Antonette, we have now established some of your likes and dislikes and choices in life. Let's start unlocking our brains, right? But before we start, for those who haven't come across it, what exactly is a Neuro-Life coach? Is it like therapy or is it something different?
Okay, it's definitely not therapy. Neuro-Life coaching is, so I work with your brain. So if I explain to you the brain just real quick, this is your reptile brain, this is your back brain. So this is what keeps you alive. This is also connected to your nervous system. So this is what regulates your heartbeat. This is what regulates your body temperature. Then you get your emotional brain. Okay. So your emotional brain this is where you feel shame. This is where you're angry. This is where you hurt. This is where you're sad, where you're happy. So this is your emotions. And then you get your prefrontal cortex side. So this is your prefrontal cortex. This is your front part of your brain. This is your thinking brain. Yeah. So this is where you are creative. This is where you make plans. This is where you find solutions. This is where you read and you make sums. So that is your prefrontal cortex side. So when we do neuro coaching, or when you go and see a normal life coach, or when you go and see a normal counselor, they only work on this prefrontal cortex side of your brain. So how that works is they ask you questions. They hope that you become aware of things. They hope that a change will happen. It's the same thing if you know that you're not in a good space and you go and download all these motivational apps on your phone and you say, this is what I'm going to do for the next month or so. If it worked, the whole world would be a better place, right? You feel better at a 20% level because this part of the brain you can only reach at 20%. What I do with neurocoaching is we work with a bottom-up approach. In other words, I'm starting with your subconscious, with your back brain, right? And I work on all three levels of the brain. And this part here is it's like a library in your brain. So everything that happens to you goes and sits here. And this is where 80% of your brain function lies. And that is why neurocoaching is so I want to say sets it apart. Powerful. Because I don't give advice in my sessions. I don't give you tips and tricks. I literally let your brain go and scan through all of these layers to get to this part, because your brain knows where to go and scan for the information. And once it is processed, there's a permanent change.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah.
So
people, we don't use our whole brain, but you're reaching all the parts. Yeah.
So to explain it better, like, life happens to all of us. So everybody's got this inner back room. So how it works is, stuff happens to you and you go and pack it in this room and you say, what, I'm going to deal with it tomorrow. I'm going to deal with it tomorrow. I'm going to deal with it tomorrow. So eventually your stress levels, it escalates. And if you don't do anything to your stress, then it just stays there. So eventually that back room is so packed you can't open the door, or you open the door and all you see are these boxes in front of you and you don't know where to start. So what do? You close the door again.
Just close it again,
yeah. So the difference to what therapy does and to what I do is, so they will take out a box and say, okay, tell me what happened here. It's like talking therapy. Where as opposed to, because I let your brain do all the work, your brain scans 3 boxes in one session because it knows where to go and find the information.
So why do you think this is so powerful for people that is going through a huge life change, like moving to a new country?
So I think, you need to understand, where your stress is coming from. I think that is important. So the three main stressors that anybody experiences or that escalates your stress levels are number one is when you have a lack of control. The second one is if you have a lack of security, and if you have a lack of connection. So if you think about those three moving overseas, when you have a lack of control, well, suddenly you're in this new country and it's new routines, it's new expectations, it's unpredictable schedules, that you're not used to. You're dependent on other people, and you play probably the waiting game with visas, housing, work permits. So you don't have control over a lot of things. And then, when you look at lack of security, there's concerns about safety. Your safety, it's a new environment. You don't feel necessarily, it's not known to you. There's stability, income plays a role, legal status, it's a new country. Again, uncertainty about job security. Is this going to work? I left everything now. Now I'm here. Is it guaranteed?
Yeah.
Is it going to work? The list can go on. And then when you look at lack of connection, it's a new country. It's probably, or it could be, a new language. So there's a language barrier, cultural differences, your family dynamics might have changed. Maybe both of you worked and now all of a sudden the one needs to stay at home. So you don't form connections. It's not easy, So
a lot can change with such a big change.
So again, you have to look after your stress levels, because if you don't, it escalates.
So on your website, you say, or you talk about the brain's ability to change, right? So is our brain really like a computer that we can reprogram to get rid of old, unhelpful software?
Definitely. Mine actually did. So I did a brain profile in 2020, just after my divorce. I was solidly in survival mode for 3 years, big changes happening. And then I redid my brain profile in March this year, so it's 5 years, and it totally changed. It totally changed, and it was such a nice thing for me to see, because I always used to say I would have liked to have a before and after picture, of where I was and the stuff that I've learned, and developed and all of that. And that was actually black and white. It was amazing to see. So yes, it is possible, but with that comes self-care. And what I say to people is self-care is not selfish. It really, and I cannot stress that enough. Because we all sit with difficult challenges and circumstances in our lives. And, we think that, moving to a new country, that's going to make a difference. This is where we're going to, this is where we're going to find our happy place. But the real honesty is that your problems go with you. It really does.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That brings me to my sort of next question is, so one of the biggest hurdles for Sapphirs abroad is limiting beliefs. So that little voice that says, I won't fit in, or I'm not good enough for the job. Where does those stories come from, and how do you practically start to rewrite them?
Okay. So the moment that you sit with a limiting belief, there's this inner struggle inside of you. So on the one hand side, I know I'm good at what I do. I know I can do this. I know I'm good at what I do. But on the other side, it's like, but it's just not working. Or so what that is, what this inner struggle is it is basically you doubting yourself. So on the one hand side, I know I'm good at this. People tell me this all the time, like, oh, you're so good at this and you're so good at this. But what is inherently happening? What is underlying? I don't believe it. So you really sit with this, I know something, but I don't believe it, or I don't see it for myself. Like, I know it, but so it's that power struggle when you
So
sit with the limiting.
how do you start to sort of change that way of thinking?
Okay, so the difficult thing about a limiting belief is it is here in your back brain. Again, it's here. It's here. You only have access to this part of the brain, but it's really sitting here. So yeah, you need to book a session with me to really to let me show you your lens. So let me explain to you why I say you are wearing a lens. So certain things have happened to you. So you inherently, so there are three parts, there are three blind spots that everybody has.
Mm-hmm.
The first blind spot is I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
The second blind spot is there's a scarcity. And the third one is I don't feel safe. So out of those three, we all have a lens that we look through. So this is again the part this part, I know I'm good enough. That is your soul.
Yeah.
That is the essence of who you are. But you wearing a lens, your brain is actually perceiving. So let's say this is my lens, right? So let's say this lens is blue. Both of these lenses are blue. What do you see? You see the world as being blue.
Blue, yeah.
So again, I know that I'm good enough. I know I'm good, but I don't believe it. Yeah. But my brain is telling me I'm not, and that is a limiting belief, and that is a lie. It is not the truth. And the moment that you can see your lens, you can never unsee it again. And what happens is you go up a level and you can't go down. That is the magic part of it. Okay. But it is subconsciously in your mind. So I do have a program, I obviously do one-on-one coaching where this is where we do processing, but I've also got a self-help to clarity program where I ask you the correct questions for you to see, okay, this is my lens. This is the name of my lens. So I ask you the right question.
Identify the lens. Yeah.
Subconscious mind.
Yeah. Okay, so you have to identify the lens to be able to sort of take it out, to see the clear picture. Okay, great.
Yeah, so I just quickly want to add here. So a lot of people think my problems, my challenges comes from my circumstances.
Yeah.
It's not the truth. It's from your limiting beliefs. That is where it's from.
Makes sense. So something that is also sort of a result of a limiting belief is imposter syndrome. And that one is huge, especially in a new workplace. So why is it so common for expats, and what is your tip for them to shut that feeling sort of down?
Okay. So when are you an imposter? What makes that you are an imposter?
When you're an outsider and a newcomer, or
so you have a sense that you don't belong.
Yeah.
That is the imposter syndrome. So I don't belong here.
Yes.
So how do you create a sense of belonging again? Well, you need to join a church. You need to join a club. You need to find a community. I can just imagine. I've never stayed overseas. I've never moved, so I don't know how it is myself. But I can imagine that it is very difficult. It is very tricky. But again, you have three basic needs, emotional needs that needs to be met, right?
Yeah.
So the first one is you need to feel loved. The second one is you need to feel appreciated. And the third one is you need to have a sense of belonging.
Okay.
So the question that I would ask you is, how can you, with those three emotional needs, how can you make sure that those are fulfilled?
Yeah.
Even with a single person, how do you get that sense of belonging? You join a club. You have to put yourself out there.
Find community, find something to do with other people, and get connections going. with new people.
Yeah.
Establish yourself within a new space or area. Yeah. Okay. And yeah, what is good being in a new place is sort of you can start over. You can choose who you relate with. Then, yeah. But anyway, that's a story for another day. So let's move on. The role of faith and inner belief. For many people, faith or a strong spiritual core is a true grounding rod. From a neuroscience perspective, how does faith or a deep sense of inner belief physically help the brain cope with high stress situations like moving abroad?
The short answer and the truth is that no matter where you are exactly where you're supposed to be.
Well, that's a great answer.
because I'll tell you why. Life is happening for you, and life is happening for you the whole time.
Yeah.
And if you're a Christian, if you're a believer, God is happening for you. So
exactly,
God has you. So whether you are in the North Pole, whether you are in Africa, whether you are in the South Pole or on an island, God has a plan for your life. So life is happening for you. So why do I say life is happening for you? Because life is showing you a frustration from this side. It's showing you the same frustration from this side. And why is it showing you this frustration? Because it is showing you where you're not free. So with that, what I want to tell you is that we have a responsibility to work on yourself, whether you are in whatever country, whether you're sitting with whatever circumstances, we are meant to grow. So, so spiritually, God has got you. And you are exactly where you're supposed to be. There are just certain lessons that you need to learn to enable you to grow.
Exactly. And that flows into my next question is, so we often talk about mindset, right? So mindset and belief go hand in hand, because if your mindset is right, your faith will be right, and you will have a deep, connected, spiritual connection with your Heavenly Father, right? So, if you think about belief, that is deeper than just having a mindset, how can someone lean on their inner belief system, whatever that may be, to combat feelings of loneliness?
You are always going to be okay. I know it sounds crazy, but it does not matter what you go through. At the end of the day, you will be okay. You might not be happy with what your circumstances are right now. You might not want it. You might feel that it's unfair, but at the end of the day, you will be okay. And what I encourage people to do is, how do you know that you're going to be okay? Is just look back in your life.
Exactly.
Sometimes we have to live our lives backwards to see where, what happened. You always get your answer. Why A, B, and C needed to happen to you is to get you to do this today, or to get you there.
Yeah.
And with that, there is no such thing as a mistake. You don't make mistakes. It is either a redirection to where you need to be, because there is a path for you. And life is a journey. Life is a
ride, right?
But and another thing that is a big trap for people is time. Okay.
Yeah.
So with time, how many people say, "Oh, you know what? I should have been further by now. Now I'm starting in a new country. Now I'm starting all over again." So time is a trap, because time means nothing. You've got your present moment, which is here. And then lots of people would say, "You know what, if I can just move to that country, I'll be happy. If I can just lose that weight, I'll be happy. If I can just, sign up that client, I'll be happy." Right? So you are never going to be there, because how many times maybe you've lost some weight and you've lost it, and then it's like, okay, but
Yeah.
I'm still not fulfilled. I'm still not happy. Because you always think that, when I reach that, and the truth is we don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. We don't know. We don't know.
Yeah.
The second,
Exactly.
the second trap is we stay stuck in our past.
Yeah.
So in my case, my husband left me. So now I can't, I don't want to be in another relationship because now I can't trust people.
Yeah, you don't want to go past that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't want to repeat my history. So that's why I'm doing everything in my power not to go there. So that keeps me stuck. What we really need to do is we need to be in the present moment.
Mm-hmm.
And being in the present moment means that you've got a certain awareness, and that's what I mean with, it does not matter what happens to you because you're always going to be okay because you're always just in the present moment, if that makes sense.
It does. And I mean, again, it's like you're leading on to my next questions, because it talks about the inner connection and clarity. So having that sort of freedom and peace at where you're at, even when things externally is chaotic, is being there in the moment, and knowing that you're in the right place at the right time, and everything happens for a reason. And we just need some consistency. And I think, is there any practical tools how to practice consistency in one's life?
We've got two life paths. So the first life path is a linear path. So what that looks like is, this is our meat suit, right? So I have brown hair, I've hazel eyes, I'm this height, right? This is my meat suit. And we are on this earth living, we think we are here to meet somebody, to get married, to have children, to be successful at our work, and to go on holiday. This is the linear life, right? But this is our meat suit. This is what's happening here on earth. Then that's one path. The second path is a vertical path, and that is our spiritual path.
Yeah.
And with spirituality this is the essence of who you are, right?
Correct.
So this is the self. So what we really are is we are a spiritual being having a human experience.
Yeah.
So what I mean with that is, again, you are always going to be okay, right?
Yeah.
But
because
we are sitting with circumstances in your life.
Correct. Yeah.
So
wow, that's powerful.
Yeah. So practical. What do we need? Again, your basic needs. What are your basic needs? Is you need to feel loved, you need to feel that you are appreciated, and you need to feel a sense of belonging. I think that might be, the sense of I don't belong. It's imposter. It's new. Find yourself a community. Don't underestimate the community.
Yeah, it all comes back to that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's and amazing. Also, I just want to, again, the spiritual journey is, if you're really struggling sitting overseas, it's new, it feels overwhelmed, maybe it is God's opportunity that he's giving you to grow closer to him.
Yeah.
So even if you find it difficult to make a connection with other people, you always have this connection. It's just where you're focusing.
Yeah. And I mean, if there's nobody else, he's always there. So just reach out. Yeah. So resilience is probably the most important superpower that any expat must have. Is resilience something that you're born with, or can we build on it or strengthen it?
We are made to survive. We are made to survive. We can always adapt. We don't actually have problems. I know it sounds strange, but we don't. It's your mind creating it. And I'll tell you why.
You're overthinking. Yeah.
Yes. So So how your brain works is your brain's main only function is to keep you alive. That's all it needs to do. So how does it do it? By predicting what is going to happen to you. So what is happening? So that's why it loves patterns, because, this is what I know. This is what I always go back to, because then I can keep you alive. Yes. That's the only thing. So how does it play out for you? So now let's say it's the middle of the month, right? You need to pay your rent at the end of the month. Now you're looking at the date and it's like, oh, I'm not going to make it. So your brain immediately starts to make up a story. It's trying to find a solution because it needs to keep you safe, right? You are creating your own stress where it's only the 20th of the month. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So you create your own stress in your brain. So to get back to resilience, yes, you will survive. Again, you'll be okay. You are going to be okay. But it's your brain that is creating the stress in your life.
So I think it comes back to coaching yourself to get your minds, your negative thoughts out of the way, and that will make you resilient to handle each and every situation that you come across.
So what I teach you in my Self-Help to Clarity program is ask yourself the question, like just pause and say, what is the truth here? Like what is really happening here, and what is the story that I'm telling in my mind? What are the facts? Maybe your boss was just tired, and yes, he was a little bit unhappy about your work, but it was his thing. And now instead you're thinking, oh, I'm not good enough, I didn't do enough. But what is the truth? What is really happening here? So just to reflect a little bit and say, what is the truth here? Because the devil likes to.
Exactly. Yeah. Choose the voice you listen to. Yeah.
Exactly.
If you could recommend one new habit for someone in their first year abroad to build their mental well-being, what would it be?
Take the opportunity to find yourself. I know it might sound like a cliche, and it's like, oh, you've got so much to deal with at the moment, and now you need to find yourself. But really, it actually is it is a new opportunity for you. And don't get stuck in the past. It's done.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
Whatever is there, it's there. Again, where are you now? You're in the present moment. So if you look at life as a journey, if you look at life as a journey, there is no destination. And if you really grasp this, if you really get it, you are always just where you are at the moment.
Yeah.
So let me give you an example. If you can just imagine, it's early in the morning, you wake up, you open your eyes, and you are just lying in bed, and you look around and you can hear the birds and you can see the sun shining, and you're looking in the room, but you have no past. You have no past. What are you going to do with the rest of your life?
You have no point of reference,
No.
We didn't even know where to go, where to start.
You are just in the room that you are in. The car that you drive is in the driveway. The money that you've got in the bank is the money that you have in the bank. What are you going to do with the rest of your life? It's a powerful question, isn't it? No. But can you see how your past is keeping you stuck?
Yeah. Amazing. It's sort of an aha moment, I think. So are you enjoying the Kiwi life but have a financial headache stuck back in South Africa? Getting your rands and blocked funds home can be complicated. All that SARS and SARB compliance, it's a lot to handle. That's where FinSelect comes in. We manage the entire process for you, making the transfer of your funds to New Zealand simple, smooth, and secure. Bring your money home hassle-free. Visit finselect.co.nz and get started today. It's time for a final thought or two. If our listeners could remember just one thing about their brain's incredible potential from our conversation today, what should it be?
My go-to would be work hard on yourself, then on anything else, because the rest will follow. So what I mean by that is, your brain is the enemy. And like I said, life is a journey, and life will present to you challenges.
Yeah.
And you need to get the lesson to grow. We are here to grow. And again, there's no mistakes. Let's say you moved overseas. Let's say it's not happening for you. Let's say, you know, what comes in your way moving back? Pride. Oh, but it's a financial crisis.
Most of the time,
You know, again, it's this. It's this path that you are worried about, where this is what it's about. So it's about your growth. It's about whatever is not working in your life is a redirection to where you need to be.
Okay.
Because you will eventually get to where you need to be. Some people just take a bit longer.
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, there's a calling. There's a calling on your life. That is what life is about. It's not about your comfort. It's really not about your comfort. And that is what people, and that is the difference between the two. This is about your comfort. It's not. We are a spiritual being just having a human experience. But this is where the stress lies. Because this is where we're focusing on instead of this is where we're supposed to focus. I hope it's making
and I
sense.
guess it's coaching yourself to look at situations and evaluate what is really bad and what's not so bad, and how to react. Train yourself how to react in a proper way, right?
It's about getting curious about, why is this happening to me?
Yeah.
Why is this happening to me? Why am I battling with a specific thing? Where else in my life is this a theme? In other words, is this keep on happening? Is this like a theme in my life? If you can get curious and ask questions, because the moment you ask a question, your focus is getting there, and you will get your answer. But it is, so it's not really about a behavior, because a behavior is more to cope, if you know what I mean. It's like, again, where you have to cope with all of these things happening now. But it's more about what is the truth. I hope it's making sense.
It makes sense, definitely, So looking back at your time spent with clients, without obviously mentioning names, what's the most common aha moment you've seen when a client suddenly realizes that they truly have the power to change their thinking, or to change their mind's way of thinking?
So it's not so much about changing their thinking, because in neurocoaching, what we do is it's about pausing and giving your brain a chance to actually work through the emotions that you experience. And it is an amazing method, because your brain is doing its own work. So what I do is I just facilitate basically the session, so that your brain knows where to go and scan for the information. And the beauty of this is, it's like what I tell people is, this is yourself, right? And a lot of things happen to you, so it's like an onion, closing you. So what we do in sessions is, the moment that your brain has processed things, it's like a shell that falls off, and eventually you get to your true self. So eventually you get to being authentic. Because a lot of people are wearing masks. A lot of people, and again, all of this stuff is in your subconscious mind. You're not aware of it, but that is where you operate. So it's amazing. It's amazing. It's a spontaneous change. It's, I wish I could take a photo of my clients when they come to me first, and then when they've got their 12 session.
Before and after.
It changes. It's amazing.
Layer for layer, taking it off in 12 sessions, eh?
Well, not necessarily 12 for everybody, but it depends,
Yeah. Okay. So, Antonette, this has been great, and we're nearing the end. For those who want to learn more about possibly working with you, where can they find you and Clarityworks?
Okay, so I'm on most social media platforms. You can find me TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. So you can just search Clarityworks and Antonette Schminke. And you will find me. Otherwise, my website is clarityworks.co.za.
Brilliant. Yeah, I mean, you're on all the social media platforms, even LinkedIn.
Yes. Yeah.
And they can just even Google Clarityworks. They should find you, I guess.
Yes. Yes.
Antonette, thank you so much. This has been a masterclass for our own brains. You've given us not just hope, but practical tools. So to our listeners, everyone listening, the blueprint is there. We all have the ability to build our own pathways in our minds. All the links to Antonette's work we have in the show notes. So you can just look below and search for her on Google. Antonette, thank you. We appreciate your time and sharing your knowledge, and I hope that this will bring a lot of people your way, because I think there's a lot of people that need help out there just to change the way their brain is functioning and to optimize that.
Oh, no, just freedom, and it's all possibility. Happy to help. And thank you so much for the privilege to be here. Thank you, O'Brien.
Thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it. Cheers.